It's another edition of Time About the Movies. We're jumping into a brand new month to wrap up the week. The month of April 1991, April 5th to be exact. And we only have one movie to look at today, and usually I do a full episode basically on if it's a one movie week. But we get some of those weeks where the one movie is one that I have never seen, or I've seen it and don't really have too much to say about it because it's something that either I was not a big fan, either didn't leave a big impact on me, or something that just didn't click with me. Sometimes we talk about a good movie, something like the Back to the Future movies like we did in the past, and Total Recall. But this week, not so much. It's Kim Basinger and Alec Baldwin in Neil Simon's The Marrying Man. Yeah, this is another one of those movies that has one of those bizarre production histories. Where do we even begin? The production apparently was a production from hell, according to some of the people that worked on the movie, or at least that's what they said in Premiere Magazine, which that tells you how old this movie is, because Premiere Magazine was still a thing. They painted Kim Basinger and Alec Baldwin as petulant, spoiled, and generally unprofessional. They said that they fell in love at the beginning of the shoot, and sometimes kept the crew waiting for hours before showing up on set. You could probably tell what they were doing there. Baldwin threw violent temper tantrums, during which he tossed a chair, smashed camera lenses, punched a dent in his trailer, swore at cast members. Kim Basinger refused to do extra takes, demanded consistent delays to fix her hair. Neil Simon actually stormed off the set and said to him one day, "This isn't funny. Whoever wrote this doesn't understand comedy." And the original budget for this was $15 million, which jumped up to $26 million. And one of the producers, David Perlman, presented each member of the cast with a t-shirt and with the phrase, "I survived the reshoot of The Marrying Man." So, yeah, you could kind of tell where this is going to go. The movie ended up being a huge, massive disappointment. It only brought back half of the budget from the updated budget, I should say. It only brought back $12.5 million, was thrashed by critics, and sadly, you could kind of see why. I mean, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This was not a very good movie, and it's a shame, too, because here's the thing. Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger have shown off the comedy potential that they have whenever they work on a movie. They have a lot of great comedic abilities that they've shown in the years since this movie's come out. Of course, Kim Basinger was in Wayne's World 2. She's been a great actress in other movies, such as L.A. Confidential, which she won the Oscar for. And Alec Baldwin, really, you don't need to say anything except show him the stuff from 30 Rock and Saturday Night Live. He's proven that he's got comedic abilities that actually have worked. Sometimes not so much, but overall, he's been a really good actor. This movie has a lot of really good actors. Robert Loge is also in here. Elizabeth Shue, Armand Assante, Paul Reiser, Fisher Stevens. Yeah, this was just a colossal misfire on so many levels. This is like Scenes from a Mall, except to this movie's credit, there were a couple of moments that I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of laugh. I didn't laugh a lot during this, but certainly a lot more than I did with Scenes from a Mall. Scenes from a Mall was just an uncomfortable movie, watching these two people, Woody Allen and Bette Midler, just bickering for like over an hour and a half, and it's just like, luckily, there's not that much of that here, but then again, that's really not saying much here. This movie just doesn't work, and despite everything that they have for it, Baldwin and Basinger have proven they have some good chemistry together on screen. Of course, they would eventually get together in real life, and would actually do a couple of other movies together and TV shows. Of course, they did The Getaway a couple of years later, and then they appeared on The Simpsons with Ron Howard in an episode. But, when you don't have a good script to work with, it's just, the result speaks for itself. I mean, this is not a very good movie, and it's a shame too, because there is a good idea here. I mean, the two people in the film have good chemistry together, but the behind the scenes antics, everything that just happened behind the scenes, and it just shows up on screen here, and it's not a really good movie. It's just not a good movie at all. It's so much so that Alec Baldwin has since said that it was the biggest mistake of his career, and he actually said this just after the film was released. That should tell you everything you need to know. And, yeah, man, I mean, really, there's not much more I could say about this movie. I mean, troubled productions like this, sometimes when the production is troubled, you do end up getting somewhat of a good movie. But most of the time, it ends up like this. A movie that has a lot of potential story-wise, a good cast to work off of, but just everything that goes on behind the scenes and this feeling of just, okay, let's get this over with so we can get the hell on out of here. It just doesn't work. It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate mess. And, yeah, it's just not a very good movie. It's a really badly executed film that just failed on so many levels and rightfully deserved a bomb like this. And, it's also a weird movie, too, because the director of this, Jerry Reeves, was actually a longtime animator at Disney. I mean, this is a guy who is, like, that name may not sound familiar to people, but if you look at his credits, I mean, this is the guy that directed The Brave Little Toaster. This is the guy that worked on films like Pete's Dragon. He worked on The Small One, Animal Olympics, The Fox and the Hound, Tron, The Black Cauldron. He was one of the animators on Space Jam. He did all these classic Disney shorts like the small one, Winnie the Pooh, A Day with Eeyore, Mickey's Christmas Carol. Did a bunch of those movies for the Disney theme parks. He did the stuff for the extraterrestrial alien encounter ride. He did the stuff for the Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith, the dinosaur exhibit at the Animal Kingdom. I mean, he's done a lot of good stuff, and just given this opportunity here, it's not. I don't really blame him for it. He was just put in a bad situation with everything going on behind the scenes. That really, I think he was just brought in to be the scapegoat, to be in this situation, because he never directed another movie after this, unfortunately. Although he did do a couple direct-to-video films, but never anything on the big screen again. And it's a shame, because you look at his work, and it's just like, this guy clearly had potential to become a really good director if he had been given the right material to work with, and he wasn't in such a project that was in such hell, and it just fails miserably. And it's a shame. I really would have liked to see what he could have done with another movie, but, so yeah, that's really all I have to say about The Marrying Man. It's obviously a bad movie, a huge misfire on pretty much everybody involved, and it's just not a very good movie. It's one of the biggest comedy misfires of all time, quite honestly, when you have Kim Basinger and Alec Baldwin and Neil Simon working together on a project, and it fails this badly. It's just, I mean, there's really not much more I can say about it. It's not a very good, it's just a terrible movie, plain and simple. So on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. The next time we meet on one of these, it'll be on Sunday. We'll talk about the weekend of April 12th. Steven Seagal has a brand new movie out called Out for Justice. We also have 3 other movies, The Object of Beauty, Impromptu, and Daddy Nostalgia. So we'll look at all 4 of those movies on the next episode, which again will be on Sunday. Of course, we have a new Movie Stuff episode coming up tomorrow. And that's really all I got to say right now. There's not really a whole lot that I know what I'm going to do tomorrow, but there will be a new Movie Stuff episode, so I'll basically show you everything I've gotten over the last couple of weeks. So, with all that said, thank you very much for watching this. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the playlist on the next page to see a timeline of the episodes so far from this year. Check out the previous episode, and I'll see you guys for another episode. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and until then, take care.